Hi there. A quick warning. Viewer discretion is advised. This story contains sensitive topics, including, but not limited to, mental health struggles, suicide, and self-harm. It also features distressing events and may include flashes of light. Mental health is important. If you or someone you know is struggling, please reach out to a support hotline in your area. I never expected my story to blow up the way it did. When I posted about my experience with line cutters and my struggles with confrontation, I thought maybe a handful of people would read it, maybe even relate to it. But instead, it spread like wildfire. Comments flooded in, some supportive, some sharing similar experiences, and some downright cruel. At first, I felt empowered. People understood me. I wasn't alone. For the first time, I felt seen. I started pushing myself more, little by little. I greeted people first at work, struck up small talk at the shops, even held my ground when someone tried to cut me off at the grocery store checkout. Each small victory felt like a step forward, a turning point in my life. But then, the messages started. At first, it was just one anonymous text, a random number calling me an attention seeker, a pathetic loser, a bag who thinks she's special for standing in a line. I brushed it off. Haters exist everywhere, right? I ignored it, didn't respond, and moved on. But the next day, another message came in, and then another. We saw your little sob story. You think you're some kind of victim? You're a joke. People like you should just stay silent. No one cares about your stupid social anxiety. Just shut up. Every day, more texts, different numbers, same cruel words. I blocked them, but new ones popped up. It was like someone was determined to make me suffer, but I told myself it would pass. It was just a phase, a small bump in the road, until a month later. That's when things took a dark turn. I woke up one weekend morning to find my inbox flooded. DMs, emails, anonymous texts, dozens of them. And this time, they weren't just insults. They knew my name. They knew where I lived. They knew where I worked. They knew my parents' address, my old school, my college, even my social security number. And then they sent pictures of me. Nothing explicit, but enough to make my stomach drop. Photos of me walking home, sitting at a cafe, inside my workplace. Someone had been watching me. And then the final message came in. We know what you did. You should just end it now. My heart pounded. What did they mean? What did I do? I racked my brain, trying to think of anyone I had wronged, but I had no close friends, barely any acquaintances. Who hated me this much? I tried reaching out to old classmates, colleagues, even online support groups, but all I got was, ignore them. They're just trolls. Don't let them win. You're stronger than this. They didn't get it. They weren't the ones being watched, followed, threatened. I wanted to tell my parents, but they were across the country, dealing with their own struggles. I didn't want to burden them, so I did what I thought was the right thing. I decided to go to the police. But as I was heading out the door, a new message came in. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Attached was a manipulated image of me, my face edited onto something horrible, something that could ruin my life. Report us, and we release everything. My hands trembled. My legs felt weak. I turned around and locked my apartment door. I was being watched. Someone knew I was about to leave. Panic set in. My breathing became shallow, my chest tight. I couldn't think, couldn't move. The walls felt like they were closing in. My vision blurred. The sound around me faded. I collapsed. I don't know how long I was out, but when I woke up, there was a sharp pain in my head. I touched my scalp and felt something sticky. Blood. A small pool of dried blood had formed on the floor. My phone was buzzing. More messages. Are you dead yet? I let out a choked sob. The tears came, but they weren't enough. My body was too exhausted to cry properly. More notifications. My boss. My workplace. I had missed an entire day of work, dozens of missed calls. My boss, who had always been kind, always understanding, sent a final message: "I'm coming to check on you." Guilt crashed into me. I was a burden, a disappointment. I had already caused enough trouble. With shaking fingers, I texted back, "I'm fine. No need to come. I'm sorry for everything. I quit." Almost immediately, a call came in. I rejected it. Then a text: "Are you sure? If you need someone to talk to, I'm here. I won't push, but I'm here." I couldn't respond. I couldn't. I was too broken, too lost. And then another text from them. More threats, more accusations, more cruel words. I screamed and threw my phone. The screen cracked as it hit the wall. My eyes darted to the kitchen. Maybe they were right. Maybe I deserved this. Maybe I had done something terrible without even realizing it. Maybe I was just a waste of space. My feet moved before my brain could stop them. I felt nothing, just empty. And then, flashbacks. My parents. My mom holding my hand as I rode my bike for the first time. My dad laughing as we built a sandcastle at the beach. The way they cried when I graduated. The way they looked so proud. They had already lost a child. My sister. My hands trembled. Tears poured from my eyes. I fell to my knees. I couldn't do this to them. I couldn't. I sobbed until there was nothing left, until my body was too weak to move. And then, finally, I fell asleep. That's all for today, folks. But her story is far from over. Will she be left to struggle in the darkness, or will a glimmer of hope find her? Is this the end, or just the beginning of something greater? The truth will be revealed tomorrow at the same time. Don't miss it. And while you wait, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and drop a comment if you were really into this story.